Hello y'all, and welcome to YoungFolk Knits. I can't believe it, but somehow this is my very last video of 2023. So stick around, and today I'm going to show you all what I've been up to and a little bit about what I am planning on starting soon. Hello y'all, and welcome back to YoungFolk Knits. My name is Casey, and on this channel I mainly like to share all about my love for fiber arts. So there's lots of knitting, there's sewing, spinning, sometimes crochet, really just whatever I am into at the moment. I also sometimes share a little bit about living on a small farm in Arkansas where my husband, myself, and our children are beekeepers, and we love raising gardens and chickens and animals and spending time outdoors here in the foothills of the Ozarks. So if any of that sounds like your cup of tea, then make sure and hit that subscribe button, and that way you won't miss out on any new video content. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I know this is a super busy time of year, and so I really appreciate the fact that you decided to spend a little crafty time with me. It is a very chilly Tuesday here in Arkansas. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning and it's below freezing. So I was excited to put on one of my favorite woolly sweaters. This is the Farnham sweater that I got to test knit for Sophie from the Knit Pearl Girl. And I gotta tell y'all, I absolutely love it. It's just a super fun, oversized, stripy sweater. It has a roll top neck, and let me see, I think it's knit at a DK sport weight gauge. I used Knitting for Olive merino, their fingering weight base, and sometimes I feel like that's almost more like a light fingering, but anyway, I really like that base. So I used that, and then I held it with Midnight Soul, which is a yarn by Camarose, and it is a Surrey and silk base, a lace weight. Same yarns, just the different colors with each stripe. So I really like it. One thing I love is the shoulder shaping. I think it's really fun, and it's a drop shoulder, which I love the fit of. It's really oversized. You can see I've got tons of oversized space in it. I think I knit the size 5 in this one, and it also has twisted rib hems, and I just really love it. It's so comfy. Here's the upper chest and shoulders. I don't think I've worn this on the podcast in a long time, so a little throwback, but also one of my favorites. So my husband is actually off every time. Oh my goodness. Okay. So my husband is off work today, and we got a lot of stuff planned. And so I'm hopefully not gonna take too long for today's episode, but I definitely wanted to catch y'all up on everything I've been up to. There's a lot. There's a lot. So I had shared previously that my dad had an accident on his horse earlier this month, and I just wanted to update all of you that he is still slowly making improvements, and I'm just very happy about that. Thank you all so much for your well wishes that just meant very, very much to me. So the first half of the month, I didn't knit anything, like literally nothing. I had 2 test knits, and I finished my Andrea Mowry test knit, which, update on that, I had a couple questions about it, but I still can't share it yet because the release date was actually pushed back a couple months. So I think it's now going to be released in February, but I will keep you updated with the latest on that. I'll just let you know that it was super fun, and I absolutely love the end result. And I think it's a pattern that y'all will really enjoy knitting as well. And then the other test knit I finished was the Plump It Up shawl by Max the Knitter. And I finished that at the very, very, very beginning of December as well. So pretty much I did no knitting for a few weeks while my dad was, you know, in really, really bad shape. And I just didn't do any knitting. This last week I have tried to sort of get my knitting mojo back, get back on track, get busy again, and I've made a little bit of progress. So why don't I start with the test knit that I had shared last podcast episode, and it is a test for Alicia Plummer, and it doesn't have a name yet, but we're just kind of affectionately calling it the Noro sweater until it does have a name. And it's a lovely raglan style, oversized, comfy pullover. It has this double folded collar at the neckline with 2x2 ribbing. And then it has a deep raglan with sort of oversized sleeves and shaping around the body. And I am knitting mine in Noro Madara, which is I'm going to call it an Aran, a heavy worsted Aran yarn, which is what it's classified as. But I feel like you absolutely could knit this at a bulky weight gauge. It fluffs up so much, and with blocking, it plumps a lot as well. So this is a singles base, and it has alpaca, wool, and silk in it. It's very, very, very soft. I think it's one of the softest Noro bases that there is. I absolutely love it. And it has this gorgeous tweedy effect to it. So here's my progress keeper, which I put on during the last episode. And since then I have split for sleeves and knit a little bit on the body. I just haven't got to knit that much on it. Is this an 18 stitch gauge? I think it's an 18 stitch gauge. So it knits up really quickly anyway, but I just haven't got to spend a whole lot of time on it. I will show you the fabric a little bit closer. I love that tweedy feel to it. Look at the nets of green and blue and red. It looks so velvety in person. I just really, really like it. So this is the colorway number 22, and so far I really love it, and I think I'm gonna really enjoy wearing it. Hopefully this is a good color for me. But I am using my Progress Keeper from Sable & Stone stitch markers that I bought this year. But I got a set, and I just really love how pretty they are. And I'm knitting this on my ChiaoGoo fixed circular needles on a 5mm or a US 8. So I really love it. So far, you know, I've done the raglan shaping. I went back and picked up the collar, knit that, folded it over, sewed it down, split for sleeves, and now I'm working through the body. So this is supposed to have a fairly oversized fit, and I'm kind of thinking about making it, I don't know how long I want to make it. I don't want to make it cropped where it's like, you know, above my waistband or anything. I always struggle with, you know, exact definitions of where that hits. But I think that what I would like it to do is come below the waistband of my pants and sort of have a thicker ribbing. It's going to be 2x2 ribbing, and be able to French tuck it with a big oversized boxy fit, but I don't want it to be super long either. I don't know. What I may do is go ahead and pick up and knit my sleeves and try, you know, I love top down because I can try it on as I go, and I'll make decisions as I knit it. In this bag, which Maggie from Skeins of Dreams made to me, I love my bag, is another cast on that I frivolously and spur of the moment decided to do. But it is the Kaleidoscope cardigan by Knit Collage. So during Black Friday sale, I randomly got a kit for the Kaleidoscope cardigan because they were on a big sale, and I've never tried Knit Collage yarn before, and I really just wanted to make this sweater whenever I saw that I could get it in this Sedona colorway, which I love. It's so pretty. It's one of my favorite colors. So this is wool, but it also has these really pretty, it looks like it's plied with some gold stellina. It doesn't say that that's what it is. It just says 100% wool, but that's obviously stellina in there. So you knit this on US 17s, which are 12 millimeter needles. Boy, these things are big. My hands almost don't know what to do with them. They're so big. This is the only size 17 needles that I owned, which I had from like, they're at least 12 years old. I got them a long time ago at Hobby Lobby, and they work fine. It's probably the second time I've ever used them in my life, but I've cast on and I did my first row of increases, and boy, this baby's gonna knit up quick. It is gonna knit up quick. So that is my main color, and then let me show you my contrast colors. So I got these two little kits of contrast color that I think that the rusty color with those greens is just going to be absolutely stunning. So there's a little bit of fabric and some wild wools in here. It's going to be really fun. And I've cast that on, and that's about as far as I've got so far, but that will be fun to work on as I can. No deadline for it. Okay. Y'all, don't get mad at me. I know that in my last video, I was talking about my goals, and they were to do less test knits. But I just want to say it was to do less test knits, not to do no test knits. And I did actually agree to this test knit, you know, a while ago. Not that long ago, but a while ago. So I'm holding it in my Chelsea Yarns pink holographic bag, which I absolutely love. Okay. So this is another secret test knit, and I know that's frustrating that I can't share all of it with y'all. I understand that, and I'm sorry. But I will share with you where I am at right now, and I'm going to share with you the yarns that I am going to use. So, first of all, I am using the Spinster's Daughter, which is a collaboration between Spin Cycle Yarns and the Farmer's Daughter Fibers. So, Spin Cycle actually mills the yarn and spins it, and then the Farmer's Daughter Fibers dyes it. And this is the Sunny's base. This is the Sunny's color, and it's the exact same base basically as they're dyed in the wool. So it's a sport weight 100% superwash American wool, 300 yards per skein, colorway Sunny. So with that, I'm using two contrast colors, which are number 1, Oh Dang, in the colorway The Den, which I'm not sure how well this is going to translate, but it is a lovely, moody green with a gray blue undertone. It looks like the sea. Like, it looks like a stormy sea. It's just so beautiful. And with that, I'm going to be holding this Spin Cycle Dyed in the Wool in the colorway Slow Burn. And it is the colorway for the Farmer's Daughter fibers, their specific colorway, or one of them. It may have more than one, actually. So these are my 3 colors. And I really, really like them together a lot. So I actually already had these 2 in my stash, so I feel good about using some stash yarn. I was so proud of myself that I was able to, I was kind of in my head thinking of a different colorway. Honestly, I really definitely was going to go a different direction, and I thought, I am not going to order yarn for this test knit. I have yarn. I was going to make a tessellated pullover out of this, and I thought, you know what, I may never get to it. I may never get to a tessellated pullover, so if I do, I'll order yarn for it then if I need some. Instead, I am making this, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. And I'm so glad that, I'm just really proud of myself that I did. And right now I've just got some ribbing, so I'm not giving away really anything, but I've got some ribbon done, and I'm going to be working on this test knit for the next little bit. So right now I have 2 test knits. I've got the Noro sweater and the secret test knit that I'm working on as well. So that's doable. That's not too bad. Then I've also got some things coming up. So I'm really excited about something super fun I'm going to be doing in collaboration with Woolly Knit. So I'm going to be making the heirloom quilt cardigan, and I'm super excited about that. And then I've also got a collaboration coming up with Knit Toronto, and we're going to be doing a knit along together for the Ariel pullover. So very excited about that. Those are future upcoming knits though. So right now I just really need to finish those 2 test knits, and then I can sort of work on small things on the side if I want to. And one of those small things on the side that I'm loving at the moment is something that I actually am going to finish today. That's the plan. Let me see if I can find it. Here we go. It's right here. So I'm actually holding it in this Primrose Yarn Co. bag I got at Rhinebeck. And it is my Manhattan hat. So this was the hat that I was going to knit over Thanksgiving weekend, which is so funny because I did not at all. It just was like one thing after another. And anyway, I had thought, okay, everybody's doing the Andrew Mowry DRK sock challenge, and it was for the tessellated socks, and I was like, ugh, I didn't really want to push myself to make those socks in a long weekend. So I was like, it would be fun though if I gave myself a challenge, and I'm going to challenge myself to knit the Manhattan hat and finish it during the long weekend. Well, I didn't do that either. I don't know. I guess that meant I needed a little bit of a break, and that was okay. But I am finishing it now. It is the softest thing I've ever felt in my life. It feels like a baby kitten fur. It's so soft. So I am using some yarn from Fiber MacGyver. And it doesn't have a name on it. It is the Merino Sport Base, which is 100% superwash merino. and it's held with a Surrey silk, which is lace weight baby Surrey and 26% silk base. So they're both in the same color, and these were very kindly gifted to me by Susie whenever I had actually ordered a set. I'd actually ordered from her a set to make the pressed flowers hat, and she kindly gifted me this yarn with it. So thank you, Susie. I love it, and she picked the most amazing color. It's perfect. So I am at the point where I need to start my decreases. Let me see. What do y'all think? Is this a good color for me? I really like it. It's so soft. It's incredibly soft. So, my plan is to finish this baby up today, and I've got a couple of other hats that I'm really wanting to knit. It's actually just now getting cold enough to really wear hats this time of year, so perfect timing to finish this up and get to use it for the rest of the winter. That is a pattern by Tori from Tori Knits NYC, and a great pattern. I really, really like it. In fact, I like it so much that whenever Addie from Ruby and Roses was having an update, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, she was having a pre-order. I kept seeing this color and I loved it, but I didn't know what to make with it. I didn't really think I would wear it a lot in a sweater. I might though. I'm just not brave enough, I guess. No, that's not true. I would totally wear this in a sweater, and I think it's gorgeous. It's the color Glacier, but I was trying to think what is something fun that I could get my happy color fix by knitting something up pretty quick. And I thought, you know what, this would be really fun in a Manhattan bulky hat. So I got a couple skeins of her bulky weight base. It's 109 yards for 100 grams, and it is a superwash merino 2-ply. It's like the fluff, the plump, the bounce is crazy. It's so good. And I think that's what I'm going to use it for. But I got 2 skeins, which is how much yardage I did need for that hat. But with the 2 skeins, you know, I have a little bit of leeway on deciding if I want to make that hat or mittens or a cowl or something like that. But I'm pretty decided on the hat. So I really, really like this a lot. And I do want to mention that I have a code for Ruby and Roses that if any of you would like to try out her yarn, then you can click on the link in my description. And I think whenever you do that, it automatically adds the code for you. So if it doesn't add it, then you can type in the code YoungFolk, all caps, and it will give you $5 off your first order. So yeah, I really, really like this. And it was so funny because the pre-order was open until midnight, and Addie was laughing at me because I couldn't decide which base I wanted it on. And so I put my order in at 11:59. And she's like, I love how you did that at the last minute. I'm like, I know, that's how I live my life. So I guess I just jumped right into acquisitions. I only have one other yarn that I want to show you, and then I want to show y'all some of my spinning that I have been doing lately. So I absolutely love Rochelle from Moondrake. She is the funnest. And she knows my love for green. And I absolutely love her yarn. I knit up my tessellated vest, which was the test knit I did for Andrew Mowry's Rhinebeck sweater. And I knit that up in her yarn, the Fua Fua, and was it Moonspun? Which was a collab between Spin Cycle and Moondrake. But she got a new base in, and it is her gray base yak silk DK, and it has the gray in it. It just gives it the most gorgeous, moody, it's just amazing. It takes color so beautifully, and the silk in it gives it such a nice shine. The yak in it gives it that moody gray to it, and then the superwash merino just makes it soft and drapey and lovely. So she very kindly sent me a skein of it in the color lichen to try out, and she sent me a skein of her Fua Fua as well, which is a fingering weight, 70% brushed cashmere and 30% superwash merino. So it is so much like the Surrey bases. It's so soft. It's incredibly soft. And these two together, it's amazing. So thank you so much, Rochelle, for sending me this. And of course, she picked the perfect color. She knows my love of green is just, I'll never get over my love of green. So now I just need to decide what I want to knit this in. Sometimes things feel so precious that I am scared, it has to be the perfect thing. But I actually think this would make a really, really, really pretty hat or a cowl. I don't know, maybe even a super small shawl, like one of those really little ones that Nordland has patterns for, and there's quite a few different ones. But this is a DK, and this is a fingering. There's 231 yards of this, 315 yards of this. So I would probably need to find a worsted Aran to bulky weight gauge. At least probably a 14 to 16 stitch gauge for this is what I'm thinking. So I need to look for patterns. If I can't find a fun scarf, then I may go with a hat, because it's incredibly beautiful, and a hat will fit forever. So, that's always safe. And I definitely need to knit this up. I love it. Okay, let me show y'all what I've been spinning before I let you go. I am so excited because I finally have a finished skein of this lovely Cinder and Smoke fiber from 316 Dye Studio that I have spun up for my pressed flowers cardigan. So let me show you a little bit about how that went.
I used to look upon myself as rational and strong, and love was just a word in silly songs. But from that cursed day when you crossed my way, all my confidence was gone. I'm bewitched, bewildered, and utterly alone. And something's telling me it always will be you until the end of my days. And in my dreams I see how I finally find a way to show you how I long for your touch, knowing I'd be asking for much to get to have you in my arms, in my life, if only for a while. But something's telling me I am but a fool, 'cause that beautiful face will not ever be smiling at me, and you won't say all those little words I whispers at night, 'cause I fear some things are just never meant to be. Your love is not for me. You'll never know I'd die for your touch. I know too well I'm asking too much to get to have you in my arms, in my life, if only for one night. There's no need telling me I am but a fool, 'cause your beautiful face will not ever be smiling for me, and you won't say all those little words I am longing to hear, those whispers at night. But it's clear some things are just never meant to be. My fate is dreams of you and sheer fantasy, knowing it is plain to see your love is not for me.
It's done. It's here and I love it. So let me give you a little bit of a close-up. So this base is merino, alpaca, camel, and silk, which is not always the funnest to spin and to draft, but it does give you this super drapey, just lovely, soft and silky yarn. And this is the yarn that I've been spinning up for my pressed flowers cardigan. So I am co-hosting a knit along with my friend Ashley, who is the designer behind Design by So and So, both on YouTube and on Instagram. So this knit along is for any of the pressed flowers patterns by Amy Christoffers, and that includes the hat, the cowl, the socks, the shawl, the pullover, the cardigan. Did I get them all? And I have a shawl that I'm working on finishing, and then I'm also wanting to make a cardigan, but I wanted to spin my contrast color yarn for it. So this is it. I still need to make 3 more skeins of it, but that's okay. I absolutely love it. And then I need to choose my main color. So I've already got it. I have 2 different colors that I need to choose from. And what I actually did was pick out these yarns when I was visiting a booth at Rhinebeck. So I came across the Primrose Yarn Co. booth, and they had this really lovely sport weight base, which is 50% superwash merino and 50% non-superwash, which I thought was really interesting. I've not ever seen that before. And the colors in it are just beautiful. It's also extremely soft, plump, bouncy, and round. And I loved it as soon as I felt it. So I thought that would be the perfect yarn for a pressed flowers cardigan, and that is what I bought it for. So I got both of these colors because I wasn't sure. And I'll just hold these up and show you what these look like together. So y'all know I am a huge fan of low contrast color work, and I feel like with this brown it would be absolutely beautiful. It would definitely not be high contrast though, but that's okay. That's actually a look that I prefer. However, I also got this really gorgeous rusty brick red, and it's showing up a little bit brighter. Let's see. So this is the other colorway that I got, and I definitely think that this yarn goes beautifully with it, and it would be a lot higher contrast. So this is the other yarn a little bit closer up. Now, just hearing myself talk about it, I feel like I already know I'm probably going to end up going with this, even though my original plan was to go with the red color. Well, focus. I don't know. I guess I'll swatch it up and see what I think. I think either way it would be really pretty. So I don't think I could go wrong with either of the colors. But this is more me. This is also me, but a little more punchy. So I don't know. Tough decisions, y'all. Tough decisions. I'm very happy with how my hand spun came out. I got a sport weight, like 325 yards, I believe, from the braid, and it's exactly what I was going for. It's a little bit textured and a little bit thick and thin, but that's okay. I like hand spun to look like hand spun. That doesn't bother me at all, especially with that base. I think it turned out really good. And I did spin it on my shacked matchless, and it was a very nice experience, aside from the fact that that blend is a little bit hard on my hands. I get a lot of questions about my shacked matchless, and I mean, yes, I absolutely love it. There's really nothing else I can say about it. It's amazing. But I did start off spinning with an Ashford Kiwi 3, and I'm so glad that I did. I feel like it was a great wheel to start out on, and not just to start out on. I feel like it's just a great little wheel in general, and if you got that wheel and you wanted to use it forever, I think you'd have no problem and it would work out just great. So I really, really like it. I do think too that I'm so glad that I started off with the Ashford Kiwi, because it's very user-friendly and easy to figure out. And I think that if I hadn't started off with the Ashford, I would not appreciate the shacked. So the matchless is very heavy duty. It's just like a Lamborghini of spinning wheels. It's so smooth. It's just, you know, a pleasure to spin on. But I don't feel like I would have appreciated that if I hadn't started off with the Ashford Kiwi, and then I've also got a Dreaming Robots eel wheel 6.0, which I love. So I love all my wheels. But yes, I really, really, really love the matchless. It's hard to beat, honestly, but I don't really feel like it's something that you should purchase as your very first spinning wheel, unless you've got money to burn and you already know that you're going to be a spinner for life. I could not check either of those boxes. So I got the Ashford Kiwi 3, and I am very happy that I went down that road. Very quickly, let me show you a couple of other spinning things I have been working on. So I am part of the Hello Yarn monthly fiber club, which I love. She just has beautiful, beautiful colors. A lot of them are very moody, which is right up my alley. And I have been just acquiring a lot of fiber because I haven't been keeping up with spinning it monthly. I've also been getting some sweater quantities or, you know, a colorway from a dyer here and there. So I had a lot of single braids from each month. And one of my goals for this next year was to use up my stash and to spin for a sweater. So I decided to do a combo spin. And I'll put some pictures up of the braids that I ended up picking out. And I tried to pick out colors that had a lot of similar tones to them. And I think Adrian, you know, obviously she's using the same dye for her colorways, and so they go together really, really well. And I decided to spin for the Traveler Hoodie by Andrea Mowry. And that is very highly inspired by Maggie from Sonder Knitting Podcast, who is the sweetest. She actually sent me this homemade, nope, where is it? This is a candle from Wax and Wool. That's not what I was reaching for. She sent me this homemade lotion bar for knitters. It smells so good. I can barely smell ever since I had COVID. And I can still smell this though. And it smells amazing. And it's natural, and I love using this on my hands. It's really, really fun, and it's just so sweet. So thank you for sending me that, Maggie. But also, I love your Traveler Hoodie. And Anna from Brook Willow, she also just absolutely loved Maggie's Traveler Hoodie made out of hand spun. And she told me she was gonna knit it. And I was trying to decide if I wanted to make the Traveler shawl or the Traveler Hoodie. And I'm like, you know what, Anna, if you're gonna make it, I will make it with you. So I decided to do a combo spin because I didn't really have a sweater quantity of those particular ones. I do have a sweater quantity, but it is for something else, which I'm going to share with y'all next week. I'm so excited about it. But this combo spin I thought would be perfect for that pattern. So I divided up all of my fiber, and I started trying to figure out how to do this combo spin. And Taji from Tangles and Starlight, she was like, also think about your sleeves. I'm like, what? Okay, now I'm getting really scared. I've only been spinning for 1.5 years, and the actual spinning part with my hands, like, that's not a problem, but the thinking and planning and all of that goes into before your spin, you know, I'm like, ooh, okay, this is hard. So thankfully, Taji and Adrian from Hello Yarn, they both really helped me out with some good ideas for things I needed to consider. And the main thing, Taji was like, you know, I really like when I see a hand spun sweater that has similar sleeves. And I was like, okay, I'm doing a combo spin, which is really hard to get anything similar on. But that is true. I do like, you know, a little bit of symmetry there. And then Adrian said, you know, for your stripes that you're going to get, you need to think about the fact that your sleeves are usually about 1/4 the circumference of your sweater. So I was like, okay, that's helpful. So what I ended up doing, I had 2 different colorways that I had 2 colors of. And I grabbed 1 braid of each of those colors, and I split them in half and took that for my sleeves. And then I had a little bit of extra, like little nestlets type things that I had from Nest Fiber Club previously that had very similar colors to some of the fiber braids that I was using in the body. And so I grabbed some of those out too. And what I did was I divided everything in half. So I had 1 sleeve, 1 for each sleeve, and I did that vertically. Then what I did was for each sleeve, I took and divided that in half horizontally. And then I went through everything and divided them into like eighths, I guess you could say, eighths of the full braid, maybe 1/8. And then I'm going to do 1/4 for the body. But I took that yarn out, I took that fiber out and tried to work out getting the stripes that would be similar in width to the body for my sleeves, which were going to be smaller circumference. Anyway, long story long. Sorry, I know a lot of y'all are not even interested in spinning, but this is what I came up with. It's about a sport weight yarn, and it's got merino, Corriedale, Rambouillet, and Polworth in it. But I really, really like it. It's got some super fun colors in it. And this is for one sleeve. So I'm probably, you know, the Traveler pattern is a drop shoulder, and it comes down pretty far, kind of like this one. So I only need enough yarn to do the sleeves for this length here. And then what I may do is use a different yarn for the hem ribbing, because this is probably not enough. But yeah, this is for one sleeve, and then I'm doing the exact same thing, trying to do very, very, very much as close as possible to get similar stripe sequence. It's not going to be exactly the same, but that's okay. As long as it's similar, I think that will help. But I'm doing the same for the other arm. Then I will use what else I get for the ribbing hem. So my first little bit of yarn for my Traveler hoodie spin is complete. And I've also been spinning these bobbins up. This is a absolutely gorgeous 100% Cormo that was kindly gifted to me from Cozy Posy Yarn Co. And I have to tell y'all that Cormo is off the charts. I love it. This is the Goosebumps color from Hello Yarn, and this is a Nest Fiber colorway that I had from like 2 years ago. And I'm trying to decide what I want to do with these. Do I want to spin them all together as a 3-ply? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out my plan for that. Anyway, that is what I have been up to, and it's been keeping me very busy. And this next week, hopefully I'll have a lot more progress done on my test knits. In fact, before I go, I should move my progress keeper so that I don't forget. So here's my progress keeper, and I'll move it down, and we will see how much progress I've made the next time we chat. There we go. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoy videos like this, then make sure and give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on any new video content. It also very much helps my channel out, which I appreciate so much. Thank y'all for leaving comments for me. I love reading what y'all are up to, and I always love reading the kind little notes that you leave for me. So thank you. I hope that y'all enjoy these last few days of 2023. And until next time, happy knitting, y'all.